everyone, welcome to Denalis Digital. On this channel, we're going to teach you everything digital marketing so you can improve your business or become a digital marketer. Today, we're going to do a walkthrough. Are you ready for a walkthrough? If yes, join me as we do a walkthrough for Google Ads search campaigns. You as a business, you may want to advertise your business to see immediate results on Google search engine. How do you do it? Stay tuned for more. So, for all those who didn't watch my previous video, I mentioned that search engine marketing, what is popularly known as SEM, is the immediate promotion of one's website on search engine results pages such as Google. So for example, if somebody types in delivery and you are a delivery service, do you show up there, or would you want to show up there? If yes, you can pay to be up there. In doing this, you need a platform called Google Ads. There you can set up a campaign, put in your bid, put in the ads that you want to show, and maybe the date that you want this campaign to run for. But it isn't free, you will have to pay, okay, to Google, of course, so that you can rank there, okay. But before this, how do we even do this? To start, get your browser and then enter ads.google.com. ads.google.com. From there, we're going to walk you through the steps, step by step, on how to do this, so you can also set up an SEM campaign either for your business, or you can even do this for other businesses and get some money from there.
So click ads.google.com as you see on the screen, and when it opens the ads dashboard, what you need to do is to hit the sign in button or the start now button.
You'll be shown a page similar to this. So please do that and let me know if you are there.
Then click on the start now button or sign in if you already have a Google account.
I'm intentionally using a new account so that if you are new, you can follow. So you can click on create a new account, create a new Google account. Yeah. So Google is trying to simplify things, and so they have something they called simplified version. So sometimes if you are new, they bring you to this place where you can just choose get more calls or get more website. In fact, based on which objective you want. And then you click next. And it's a bit simple. I think they are following the steps of Facebook. But you can also switch to expert mode. So there's this expert mode here. Down in blue. When you click on the expert mode, you are telling it that, hey, I'm a pro, so allow me to do it my way. Okay, so you see this, which is different sets of objectives. So they are trying to educate you that, is it sales you want? Then the campaign types you can do search, display, shopping, video, smart discovery. And they are saying that for you to drive sales online, you can do it through an app. You can do it by a phone call, or you can also drive sales in a store. So let's say you are a Melcom, maybe you are in a store, but you can still use this to drive traffic there. Let's say you are interested in leads, or you are an agency, your customer says, I want leads. Okay, then you are being educated here to know that your campaign types, you could use search, you could use display. So they actually tell you what and what can help you for website traffic to sing. So for the purpose of this class, which is a search class, let's go to website traffic, which is the simplest. Then we can build on from there. Okay. So click on that. So now the campaigns that are eligible for the kind of objective I chose is being highlighted, all the rest is not highlighted. So I click on search, and then they ask me what is the website I intend to advertise. So let's say for operators, I'm trying to use a website that I manage for somebody. Oh, I made a mistake. So I just copy my URL and I put it there. Boom. Then I'm being asked to enter the campaign name. There is this other section which is saying that start tracking your website as website conversions. Louise, a conversion action is something valuable to your business that people do after interacting with your leads. To track your website traffic as a conversion, create a conversion action and then install the tracking code. So let me give an example. People come to your website. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to fill a form, or do you want them to, let's say you're an e-commerce, so do you want them to put something in a cart, and so on and so forth? So what is important for you? There's something called conversion tracking. You get the code, and then you are able to insert the code at the particular place where the conversion will happen. So if, let's say, it is a form, maybe when the person hits submit button, it should count it for you. So at the end of the campaign, Google can tell you that 1,000 people went to your website, clicked to go to your website, but only 200 hit the submit button. And now your conversion becomes the submit button clicks and not the general visit to your website. Okay. So now let's name our campaign. They're giving you something here, website traffic. What I normally do is I always add a date to it so that tomorrow, or let's say tomorrow, after 5 years, when I see this campaign, I can remember on what date I did this. So let's say today is August 2nd. So you can simply add that. So I hit continue. Yes. The campaign name didn't add what I told it to add. I'm doing it again. Okay. So it says I can do search exclusively, or I can do search and display. So if you can see my screen, you see that it's already ticked the 2. Though we are not doing display now, display simply means that when one goes to news portals like My Joy, Ghana Web, and so on and so forth, you see these small banners. Okay. So these people are in a network with Google where they allow Google to use their websites or apps as placement of ads. So me as an advertiser, my ad will be showing on My Joy, although I never contacted My Joy for them to put my ad there. Why? Because My Joy has joined a network where, which is called Google Display Network, where Google pays them with the money I pay Google. So if, let's say, at the end of the day, my campaign was just $100 and all the $100 were shown, all the ads were shown on, let's say, My Joy. My Joy takes $70 and Google only takes $30. Okay. And so it is a good way for these publishers to make money, and it's also a good way for we, the advertisers, to show our ad to such people. But because this is primarily a search campaign we are doing, your display, this kind of display wouldn't give you the ability to add pictures where you can get a designer to do some nice artwork for you. No, rather it picks your text ad and just puts it there. So if you realize, sometimes you go to Ghana Web, you see an ad, but there is no picture. Has anybody seen something like that before? So for me, I like it because anything that will increase my exposure, I'm okay. So I'm not going to untick this. But if for one reason or the other, you want it to be strictly search. You don't want it to appear on any web portal or any app. Then you just uncheck this. But if you're like me, who just want to take advantage of any opportunity, then I'll just take it. Then let's see what's here. Your start and end date. This is really good. Ordinarily, should I say Google hides this? It's not something which is known. So you may do an ad, and if you don't set an end date, my sister, the money will run. So you can choose an end date here. So let's say I'm starting August 2nd, and I'm going to end August 31st. But if you are in a company that understands digital, they call it always on campaigns. For example, when I was with Apollonia, Matthew will testify that there was something we called always on. You don't want it to stop, because if it stops a day, you are losing leads. So for us, we put none. And every day will run until I tell it that stop, it's going to run. So you have the option to do that. There is another option called dynamic search. The truth is, I have never tried it, but I understand the concept. This is how it is. You don't want to write any ad. You just want Google to look through your website and generate ads for you. So based on how Google understands your website, it will write its own English for you. The danger in this is you don't have control on what it shows to people. So if you are in a company where you have to show your ad to your boss for approval, then this option wouldn't work for you, because it might compose a sentence that ideally it wouldn't make sense to you. And you know, these things are robots, so sometimes you can't trust their judgments so much. But there is no harm in trying. You can try that. Just that I've never worked with a company that says use my money to just try something else. There's another option here called campaign URL. I don't know if anybody here knows what they call UTMs. Sometimes you're running so many campaigns and you want to know which one brought what. So there are UTM softwares that can give you a tracking code for each campaign. So when you are able to do that, you can put it here. But this is not really part of the basics. You don't need to do this. Then the ad schedules. I think the ad schedules are simply when you'd want the campaign to run. We'll talk about that into details. If your campaign is, let's say, a campaign that sells 24/7, and you don't even need to touch this. But if you're a campaign that sells, let's say, you are a restaurant, you only open in the afternoon till, let's say, 6 p.m., then you don't want somebody to be calling in at 5 a.m. saying, I want food. And so for such a business, the ad schedule will make sense. Then let's go to location. Location, you can choose. I think by default, the system can tell where you are, and so we'll choose Ghana for you. But it's possible I'm in Ghana, but I'm not marketing to only Ghanaians. In that case, you click on enter location, then you, let's say if it's Nigeria that I want to market to, just click that. Okay. You can also do multiple countries or multiple states. So we are at the languages, the option for languages. Okay. It picks English by default, but I will say that cancel it. There are people who set up their Google account without putting in any language, or he may speak English but may have selected French just because maybe he's bilingual, so he prefers his account to be in French but he still speaks English. He can still read English. In that case, if you choose English, such a person may not see it. So if you do it all languages, it doesn't matter what you have set it to be. Once you are in my location, which is Ghana, you should be able to see my ad. Then there is the next, which is audiences. For search, I wouldn't advise anybody to do audiences. Why? Because the keyword you are using to search for something on Google is already a limiting factor. For example, if I'm searching for delivery systems in Ghana, I'm already limiting what I want to see by saying that I want to see anything delivery. But if you're the advertiser, you also decide to limit the person by any other thing. Let's say you can browse the audience and say you want detailed demographics. Let's say marital status, married. What you are doing is that even if somebody searches for delivery and the person is not married, then he shouldn't see your ad. You get the point? He's already searching for delivery, which means that he's already told you exactly what he wants. Do you care if the person is single or married? And so for me, when it comes to search, I don't really touch targeting. But I may not know what you are selling, and so it's possible that you have a need for targeting. Then you do so. In that case, you can do demographics. So in terms of parental status, you can choose if the person is a parent. In that case, a parent of who? Is it a 0 to 1 year child, or the person should be a parent of a toddler, or a parent of a preschooler, or a parent of teens? It's possible that you may find a product that is very specific, a niche product. So in that case, these targeting options may work for you. You can even go as far as education. Maybe whatever you are selling is for only college students. Home ownership status. You can also choose that. Are you looking for renters? Are you looking for homeowners? But please be mindful that this is Ghana. People do not willingly show their status. And so you may be limiting yourself unnecessarily, because people don't want to really show that they own a home, things like that. Even with education, sometimes you go to people, for example, Facebook. I know people who are really doing well, but I go to their Facebook page, and when you get to the education part, there's nothing there. Not because he's never been to school, but he's just not comfortable putting it out there. So if you choose such an audience, you may miss such a person. So that is it for the demographics. Any questions on the detailed demographics?
So with the demographic, is it ideal to ignore some, or you just have to select all? Especially with the marital status and all those.
Okay, so if you don't pick anything, then the thing takes everything.
Oh, okay.
But if you pick one, then you're limiting yourself to just that. And there's another kind of targeting, which is affinity. So the affinity are their habits or their interests. So with this, the person may not necessarily take anywhere in his account that I like banking, I like this. But based on how you do your things online, Google is able to sense, this cookies things and stuff like that. And Google is able to sense that from the way you always search about banking and finance, the way you normally search about eyebrows and things. You might be interested in beauty, or you might be interested in banking. So there may be a need that you select these options. So let me go back on the affinity and let's go to in-market. So the in-market is what you are actually searching for. The difference between the in-market and the affinity is that with the in-market, you should be looking for something. So although naturally my interest is in, let's say, beauty products, all of a sudden within a span of an hour or two, I'm searching about cars. But Google already has put me in the beauty bracket, but all of a sudden I'm searching about cars. So in that case, when an advertiser uses interest in targeting cars, he will miss me out because according to Google, I'm in the bracket of beauty products. Okay. But if you, the advertiser, you use in-market, then you get me, because although my interest shows that I like beauty products, I'm in the market searching for auto and vehicles. Okay, so for me, if you ask me, in-market audiences supersede interest, because I may not be a car person, but I may have a need for a car just today. And so I should be able to see companies that deal in such. Hope it is clear.
Please go over again.
Okay. So with the audiences, first we spoke about detailed demographics. Okay. Then we spoke about affinity. Now we are on in-market. And I'm explaining that the difference between in-market and affinity is that with the affinity, based on how you interact online, you are already put in a box as either a beauty person or a car lover or a banking guru, something like that. So anytime somebody or an advertiser says, show this ad to beauty lovers, I should be part of the people who will see that ad. But there is another type of targeting which is in-market. I may naturally be a beauty person, but all of a sudden today I'm searching for cars. So if the advertiser use affinity, then you'll miss me. You wouldn't get me because ordinarily I'm not a car person, I'm a beauty person. But
Sure.
if the advertiser use in-market, then you'll get me because the system is only looking for people who are actively searching for your kind of product and not necessarily whether he's interested in it or not.
Okay.
So for me, that would be one of the tips that I will give you, that in-market supersedes affinity because the needs of people change every day. I shouldn't be a beauty person to look for a concealer online. Okay.
Okay. And a follow-up question. And that would be if you are even choosing audience, right?
Yes, that would be if you have a reason to choose audience.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Then we have what we call remarketing. Remarketing has been one of the powerful strategies I've used in my life. People have bought from you, or people have done business with you, or people have once watched your YouTube channel before. Don't you think there's an interest for the person to come to your channel to look for you? And there is something he saw, but the stress of life, he might have forgotten about what he was looking for and moved on with some funny joke somewhere. But if you retarget or you remarket to such a person, you should be able to catch that person. And anytime there is interest, it's easier to build consideration than targeting people who don't even have interest at all. So we'll look at that in detail, but I'm just giving you an overview of the targeting options available to use if you intend to use targeting. So that is it for the audiences. Let's move. Budgets. I get this question almost every time. Alice, if I'm doing a Google ad, how much do you think I should pay a day? It is optional, my dear. I cannot say for a fact that do $1,000 or do $1. It will depend on the strength. So sometimes I ask companies I deal with, what is your budget? If you tell me your whole budget is let's say $1,000 for the month, then I will do the mathematics and know that, okay, $1,000 divided by 30 days gives me so and so. And so my daily budget becomes, let's say, $30 based on whatever amount you've given me. Okay. But you can also get a company that doesn't mind. Will tell you that I just want traction. So you tell me, what do you think I should do? In that case, from experience, I think $30 is a good start. Why? Because Google is good, it gives you the numbers, but if your budget is very small, like the way Facebook, you can even do $2 a day. If you try that on Google, nothing will work because it is per click. If I'm doing per click $1 and I do $2 a day, it means that you just want 2 clicks a day. Is that not so? Which wouldn't reach anywhere, because if 2 people have clicked your website, then how many of them went to do your action, which is either fill the form or put something in a cart? Okay. So because Google's own is per click and not per 1,000 impressions as compared to Facebook, you can't do $2 here. Don't try it. Please make sure your client has enough money for this kind of campaign. So I'll say $30. And what are you bidding for? What do you want the system to focus on? You have clicks. If you had done the conversion thing I had spoke about, then this would have been enabled. Okay. But ordinarily, clicks are the basics. Clicks are the basis. They normally want to bring new things. You know these advertising platforms, they're always trying to introduce new things. But for the basics, do clicks, which is even good for you, because if 1,000 people see your ad and they don't click on it, your money is still there. Until somebody clicks, your money doesn't go. But as compared to Facebook, whether the person clicks or not, you are being billed on, let's say, impressions, and so your money is gone. So you could choose that, and it is even recommended for you. Most of the time, they'll tell you what is recommended. Then you can set your CPC, which is your cost per click. So how much, if somebody finally clicks on it, Google, how much should you take from my daily budget? So let's say out of the $30 a day, I'm saying, Google, take 0.5. Take 0.5 cents for my money. So let's do a little calculation. If you say you want to spend $30, and the person clicks, and a click is 0.5. Am I correct? $30, and a click is 0.5. Meaning in a day, you only get 60 clicks to your website. You see how it is. So when you are promising an advertiser, don't go and say, oh, when you do $30 a day, I can give you 1,000 visits to your website in a day. My brother, it is 60 you can give to him. Because of the kind of bid you chose, which is 0.5. You can even increase it to 1, 2, based on how tough the competition is. You can also go as low as 0.1, looking at how tough the competition is. Let me see. if Google wouldn't beat me. Okay, 0.1 was accepted. So you could try that. But just know that in the auction we learned, your bid is also important. So if you are doing 0.1 and your competitor is doing $1 per click, and you two are your ad format is not good, your ad quality too is not good. When you do the ad multiplication, your ad rank will be 0. You'll not even rank anywhere. Okay. So that is it. That is it. Okay, sure. So now we mentioned about the ad extension or what is called ad formats. These are the kind of ad formats that we have. We'll go into that into details later, but just to explain to you. So your site link, I think the last time in the class I used Fido as an example. So let's say, let me just type Fido. So you realize that aside the header, which is Fido microcredits, instant microloans, and then aside the description, which is Fido is a licensed financial institution, there are these things here. Get a fast loan, download. These are clickable. So this is what we call the site links. Let me go back to it. So that is what we call the site links. So sometimes your clients may have other pages aside. So let's say you are selling shoes, and so you are marketing the shoes page on the website. But the website can also have an about us page. It can have a contact page. It can have about a directive or whatever it is. So make sure you add those as site links. It makes you rank higher, as we got to learn in the video. Then there's something called call out extensions. So the call out extensions, those ones are not clickable. They look similar to what we just saw. Okay. Then we have the call extension. The call extension is just adding a phone number, which is really good because it means that before the person even clicks on the ad to go to your website, he's already seen your phone number. So if the customer is a very interested customer, he wouldn't even click your campaign. And if he doesn't click your ad, your money doesn't even go. And so such a person just places a call. You've gotten your order. Meanwhile, too, you've still not paid for the ad that made him call you. So call extensions. For that, if you don't add any extension, please add call extension. If not for the fact that it will make you rank higher, it will give you business. And the good part of it is that if the person searches for the keyword on phone and he sees the call extension and he clicks on the call extension, it picks up your dialer. So the person is not supposed to even remember the phone number. 024, then you come to his phone and come and dial 024, 33, come and dial 33. No. The moment the person clicks on the call extension, it picks up your dialer and it launches the call on his phone. There are other extensions that we can add. So once you click save and continue, I'm expected to add once. Save and continue. So at this moment, my campaign is even in the draft stage because I've moved on from one end to the other. So even when I do not continue today, it's being saved as a draft for me. Okay. Then now to your ad group. Ad groups are subsets of the campaign. So you can get somebody who is in a boutique, but within the same boutique, he or she sells men clothing, they also sell women clothing, they also sell kids clothing. In that case, it wouldn't be advisable to put all in one ad group. So you can create an ad group called, let's say, men clothing, which will mean that all the ads that will go under this will be about men. All the keywords that will go under this will also be about men. Then once you are done, you can create a second ad group for the female and a third ad group for the children. And all this will use one daily budget. So for just the same $30, you are advertising your women clothing line, your men clothing line, and the children clothing line. But if for one reason or another your business doesn't have such divisions, then you don't need to really split it. Now to the keywords. Because we already told Google that our website is storeoperatorsg.org, it has quickly searched through my website and thinks these keywords will suit me, which is good. But I always say 20 keywords, at least 20 keywords. So put yourself in the shoes of your customer and then keep typing more keywords. There are other tools we can use to help find keywords. We'll get into that. But as much as possible, if I was to be a Black American who wants to come to Ghana, what would I have typed? Maybe simply Ghana, my Medu, Accra. I also know that Cape Coast is very popular. Let's say slave trade, because that is one of the main tourist attractions here.
Elmina.
Pardon?
Elmina.
Elmina, good. So let's say Elmina Castle like this. I hear it's very popular out there. Elmina Castle. So just put yourself in the customer's shoes and then write. You may not always be right, but once you trigger the campaign and the campaign starts running, what will happen is that you monitor these keywords, see the ones that are doing well, and then turn off the ones that are not doing well. Add newer ones. So Google search is not like the other campaigns where you set up a campaign and you sleep. You don't sleep. You monitor this at least every 3 days. Come back and see what you have done. Are my keywords working? Which one do I need to edit? And so on and so forth. Save and continue. This is the part where you enter. It has actually given me some headlines based on what is saw on my website. Okay. So if they are okay for you, you maintain it. If they are not okay for you, just tap into it, edit it, and then it should be fine. So we have what we call, in preparing your ad copy, we have, let me say, 3 main parts. Your URL, okay, which is already taken from the first time you entered your website's URL. But you can change it. If, let's say, there's a particular part of the website, maybe /sales or whatever, you can put that. And there's something called display path. Some people's websites have interesting URLs. StoreOperatorsGH.org/123/KO/. You can't show that to the customer. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look presentable. And so in such a case, you can have the long one there, which will still land there, but to display to the customer, you can add, let's say, sales. So yeah, so makes it a bit more, nice. So if you see the preview here, you see the ad, and then you see /sales. But the truth is that when the person clicks on it, it won't go to any sales. It will go to the 123/3/4. Sometimes some such websites have those URLs. Then you come to your headline. So your headline is what is in blue. You can add as much as 15 headlines. And me, anytime I see as much as 15 headlines, Alice will go for all the 15. I won't even do 5 because I'm not here to joke. I will exhaust all the 15. Because what is good in the eyes of Amma may not be good in the eyes of Kofi. And so once I give you a lot of headlines, if headline A doesn't work, headline B will work. Then we go to descriptions. Descriptions too, I can give 4. Okay, then I'll exhaust all the 4. Okay, so I'm done. And this is how my ad looks like. Beautiful ad. Okay, am I good to go? I'm sure they'll tell me to pay. Okay. Confirm payment, confirm. Okay. So because I've not set up any payment account here, you would have to enter your credit card, all these things. But if, let's say, an account was already added to this account, then immediately I hit submit, it goes for review. Reviews take 2 business days to run, but mostly they'll tell you 2 business days just to hold brief in case you are not able to do it. But mostly it's not even up to 4 hours. You get a reply if your ad is accepted or not. I think we'll end today's session here.
Thank you all for the time spent in watching this walkthrough on how to set up your Google Ads campaign, in particular your search campaign. I know that now you are confident to set up your own campaign or do this for a business so you can get something. If you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe and also share with other people who may benefit from this lesson. Stay tuned and remember, digital is the future. Bye bye and watch out for our next video.